This is truly fascinating, and probably one of the most surprising connections in the text. It explicitly outlines a direct mind-body connection. Emotional states aren't just abstract feelings happening in your head, they have real, tangible physical consequences. Specifically, the texts note that intense feelings of extreme fear can directly alter or even damage the kidney system. If the system is already weak, you might feel more fearful. And conversely, experiencing extreme fear can drain your body's battery. It's a complete two-way street between emotional and physical health.
I worked as a banker for 30 years, but now I work as an acupuncturist.
Welcome to today's Explainer. We're about to completely redefine something you probably thought you already understood pretty well: human anatomy. You see, traditional Eastern medical texts offer an entirely different way to look at how our bodies actually work. So I want you to just forget the typical biology textbook for a second. We're going to explore a framework that connects your energy, your breathing, and even your emotions into one incredibly elegant system. Get ready, because we're about to see your body in a whole new light.
Okay, let's dive into this. Try to briefly forget the standard Western medical definition of the kidney. Just a pair of simple, bean-shaped physical filters sitting in your lower back. In the ancient Eastern texts we're exploring today, treating the kidney as just a waste filter, well, that misses the big picture entirely. What if the system was actually the master controller of your body's absolute most vital functions?
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the Eastern kidney concept. Second, the 3 vital body functions. Third, signs of system imbalance. And finally, ears, fear, and health.
Starting off with Section 1, the Eastern kidney concept, a holistic network.
In this framework, the kidney isn't just an organ, it's a holistic network. It's really the master manager. The kidney system is responsible for managing your body's core energy, regulating your entire fluid balance, and, believe it or not, even playing an active role in your deep breathing. It's just a completely interconnected approach to human vitality.
Moving right along to Section 2, 3 vital body functions. Let's see how this network actually works.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this massive network operates through 3 distinct pillars. Think of them like this. It acts as a battery to store core energy, it acts as plumbing to manage water, and it acts as an anchor to actually ground your breath. Let's break each of these down one by one.
So the first pillar is all about storing energy. The source text describes the kidney as hoarding something called essence. An essence? Well, that's your ultimate body battery. It is the absolute core foundation of your vitality. The kidney safely stores this deep energy and then just sends it out whenever and wherever your body needs it to keep you going.
The second pillar is managing water. Think of this as a highly intelligent plumbing system. It literally decides what fluids your body needs to stay hydrated, and then it sends the rest down to the bladder as waste. It keeps the good stuff circulating and safely flushes out the rest.
The third pillar is perhaps the most unique Eastern concept we're covering today: anchoring breath. We usually think of breathing as, purely a lung thing, but according to these texts, while the lungs inhale the clean air, the kidney system must actively grasp or act as a deep anchor to pull that air all the way down into the body. Without this anchor, your breath is shallow and incomplete.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. Signs of system imbalance. What happens during a system breakdown? Traditional Eastern medicine actually maps very specific, everyday ailments directly to the failure of these 3 specific functions. A failing energy battery leads to accelerated aging and forgetfulness. A failing plumbing system leads to swelling and urinary issues, and a failing breath anchor, that leads to panting and shortness of breath. Let's examine exactly why the texts say this happens.
When your energy battery, your essence, is healthy, you feel robust and youthful. But when it's drained, the source text specifically links this drop to physical symptoms you might just brush off as getting older. A drained battery results in a weak lower back, weakness in the legs, a general acceleration of the aging process, and noticeably increased forgetfulness. It's literally a low battery warning for your entire body.
Now, when the water management breaks down, the plumbing system gets confused. Unnecessary water gets trapped in the body rather than being naturally expelled, and that leads to visible puffiness and bodily swelling, which we call edema. On top of that, communication with the bladder breaks down, resulting in totally unpredictable timing, meaning it might become difficult to urinate, or you might find yourself needing to go way too often.
Finally, let's look at the breath anchor. A healthy anchor means deep, full breaths. But if the kidney's anchor is weak, the clean air breathed in by the lungs just isn't pulled down properly. So the crucial point is, you might experience panting, feeling easily winded, or having general breathing difficulties. In this framework, shortness of breath isn't just a lung problem, it's a direct failure of the kidney's anchor.
Section 4, Ears, Fear, and Health. Let's look at some mind-body links.
This is truly fascinating, and probably one of the most surprising connections in the text. It explicitly outlines a direct mind-body connection. Emotional states aren't just abstract feelings happening in your head, they have real, tangible physical consequences. Specifically, the texts note that intense feelings of extreme fear can directly alter or even damage the kidney system. If the system is already weak, you might feel more fearful. And conversely, experiencing extreme fear can drain your body's battery. It's a complete two-way street between emotional and physical health.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how holistic this system truly is. The texts list some final, highly unexpected physical signs of decline. Because this network spans the whole body, a decline often shows up in your ears. Symptoms like ringing in the ears, tinnitus, and even gradual hearing loss are mapped directly to this system being depleted. Add to that a generalized chronic feeling of being easily fatigued, and you really see how far-reaching this whole network is.
We've covered an incredible amount of ground today, looking at the body as this beautifully interconnected web of energy, plumbing, and deep breathing, all tied to our emotions and even our hearing. It's a profound shift from looking at isolated organs, right? So I want to leave you with this thought to reflect on. If an ancient framework links your baseline energy, your breathing capacity, and even your intense fears to a single interconnected system, how might you rethink your own holistic wellness today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.
I worked as a banker for 30 years, but now I work as an acupuncturist.